because they didn't have that emotional and mental support from their father, which is the main key factor in keeping the household together, to keeping that household glued together. Because what? The man is the head of the table. See, as a man, you got to take responsibility. Responsibility is everything. The moment you don't accept responsibility is the moment you escape manhood altogether. And that's what a lot of these men do. A lot of these men don't want to accept responsibility. A lot of these men don't want to have to deal with that. They just feel like, hey, let me just go ahead and throw a little bit of cash to this nigga, and then, you know what I'm saying, or my daughter, and then that's just gonna be that. What is good with y'all boys? YouTube is Boogie back at it again with another video for y'all today. Today we got a reaction video for y'all boys today. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know, Nick Cannon, we all know who Nick Cannon is. We all know that Nick Cannon got like 13, 14 kids with I don't know, but like at least 7 different baby mamas, right? And you know, I saw this on the Shade Room. They were talking about, is Nick Cannon able to be there for all of his kids, you know what I'm saying, with the position that he's in, you know, the status, the money, all of that. Is he really able to be there for his kids on a you know, a more connective and emotional and mental level, you know what I'm saying? So the Shade Room had posted a video. We finna react to that. But before we get into that video, you know what I'm saying, I need y'all boys to smash that like button, thumbs up this video, so I know y'all messing with the content, and I can keep dropping bangers like this one on the channel for y'all boys. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. Let's get it.
Agree, like Nick Cannon and his spreading of his seed.
100%. I agree with him 1,000%.
Oh, but no.
That's how life is supposed to be.
No.
Why not?
Because
he's rich.
No, but this is
no.
See, wait.
Let me finish.
Okay, go on.
He's rich. He's responsible.
Is he?
Yes, he takes care of every one of those children.
No, but this is the
and the baby mothers with it, and they hurt for nothing, and they live comfortably.
No, but what about the kids though?
What about them?
Because this is what I mean about men, right? You guys think that just having kids and giving money is enough, but what about the time? No,
he's there for every one of them.
How? There's no way that you can.
Are you serious, Nick? He's there for every single one of those kids.
There's no way that you can have.
Yes, it is. I got 9, and I'm there for every one of mine.
So every single time you're at every single recital?
No, that's a white man's thing. Who cares about a recital?
No.
My job, no, seriously, my job is to, listen, my job is to raise my...
So, yeah, that was the video, you know what I'm saying. Now, Akon was on Nick Cannon's side of, you know what I'm saying, having, you know, a whole bunch of kids, you know, which is cool, which is fine, you know what I'm saying, have a whole bunch of kids. But Akon believes that Nick Cannon, just like he is, able to be there for all of his kids. And I'm going to just go ahead and tell y'all boys, that's not the case at all, you know what I'm saying? And I will tell you exactly why that's not the case. Now, Nick Cannon, he has, I don't know, let's just say, I don't know how many baby mamas he has, but I know he got more than one baby mama, right? And he's got a spread of, you know, kids through all different baby mamas. See, the problem, you know, especially in the black community, the problem is with a lot of these men's mindsets, is, hey, money is the only thing that I need to compensate for raising my kid, and if I'm there for them financially, then that means I'm there for my kids, which is not true at all. See, a lot of kids grow up in a broken home. They grow up, you know what I'm saying, not with their father. And you know, a lot of these kids, especially Nick Cannon, if he has, you know, I'm pretty sure Nick Cannon has a lot of sons, right? Hold on, let me do my research. Let me see how many kids Nick Cannon got. So Nick Cannon has 11 kids. You know, he's got a good mix of boys and girls, which is cool. But the problem arises with, okay, is Nick Cannon spending enough time with his kids, and is he there for them for each and every single milestone with his kids? And I will tell you that he's not. And I know that it's going to be extremely hard for Nick Cannon to keep up with all these kids across all these different baby mamas, because simply, how do I put it? Kids are a lot of work, right? You know, I don't have any kids on myself, but I know it takes a lot to raise kids, and it's not just a financial thing. It's a emotional and mental thing to be there for your kids all the way until they grow up and grow up and become an adult, right? So we know that Nick Cannon has 11 kids with probably, I think it said 9 different baby mamas. So he's throwing his government checks, you know, his child support at each baby mama, you know, and he's popping up here and there for the kids, but that leaves these kids with a broken home. The mama is left to take care of the kids on the majority of the part, and then the dad or Nick Cannon pops in their life, you know, whenever he sees fitting, or if he has time, right? So many people grow up with a broken home, without a support system, without a mom and a dad in their household. Me, I was thankful enough to have a mom and a dad in the household, and I'll tell you right now, I don't know where I will be at, but I probably wouldn't be in the position I am now if I didn't have my dad in my life like that. Now, you know, Akon said, you know, that's the white man's thing, just to show up to your kids' band recital or rehearsal, whatever the case might be. He said that's a white man's thing. See, as a man, you're the head of the table. See, if the man falls or crumbles or something goes wrong within the man, then the whole family goes down. The whole family crumbles, because the man is the head of the table. The man is the support system, right? So I know Nick Cannon is not running around here being there for all of his kids. You know what I'm saying? It's not possible. It's not true. And that lady was absolutely right. There's no way Nick Cannon could possibly be there for all of his kids. See, fellas, what you guys have to understand is a father figure is needed in every kid's life. Every kid's life. That's the foundation. That is what's going to make or break the kid as he gets older. That's what's going to either give that kid that hard time when he's growing up, or that's going to, you know what I'm saying, make the kid feel loved, right? And I'm not talking about physically loved. I'm talking about mentally and emotionally loved, right? Who do I turn to as a young boy? Who do I turn to when I have a situation on my hands that my mama doesn't understand? See, I'm left to figure it out on my own. And, you know, with figuring out on your own comes trial and error, which means that you're going to make mistakes that you necessarily don't have to make if you were to have a father in your life. See, a lot of kids grow up with a lot of emotional baggage, and it's holding them down and weighing them down from being as successful as they possibly could, simply because they didn't have their father in their life. Or if they did have their father in their life, the father just really wasn't there, you know, like that, or as much as they would have wished it was, right? See, if you're gonna have kids, bro, you better know what comes with it. My father always told me that if I'm gonna have kids, same thing with my mama. If I'm gonna have kids, I better know what comes with it. You know what I'm saying? I can't just go around sleeping around with whoever I want and then thinking, oh, you know, child support is just going to be enough, because it's not. It's not at all, right? And Akon, what a lot of these fathers mindsets. See, with a lot of these fathers' mindsets, they believe that all they have to do is just give that child support and then, you know, pop up here and there when they see fit, and that will be enough, and it's not. And that's a very common misconception, and that just shows how dysfunctional the black community is, or more so the black men in the black community are, because they're not mature. They want to stick their dick in any and everything, to have fun, to have sex, without being mature enough to think, hey, okay, I'm going to have a kid off of this, and I know that I'm going to have to raise this kid, and I'm going to have to walk him step by step through life until he becomes an adult, so that when he does get on his own 2 feet, he'll be ready. A lot of kids aren't ready because they don't have that father figure, or, you know what I'm saying, they grew up in a broken home, and so, you know, they grew up with their mama always around, and the mama just simply is not enough. It's not. See, this is why so many kids are broken to this day. This is why so many kids are broken, because they've got people like Akon, you know, who think, you know, oh, you know, I'm there for all 9 of my kids, as he put it, I'm there for all 9 of my kids, you know what I'm saying, I don't need to show up for the white man's thing. You know, I don't need to show up for the rehearsal, because that's the white man's thing. That's what he said. I want you to know, I want you to know, just getting your kids gifts, just getting your kids Jordans and that new video game system, that's not enough either. That's not going to help them emotionally or mentally when they know that they don't see their father year round, or they only see their father every 3 months or so. And see, a lot of these kids will grow up traumatized. A lot of these kids will grow up scarred from that. You know, hey, that kid's not gonna remember that video game system you got, or how much, or maybe they will, but the kid's not gonna remember how much money you put into them. But they will remember all the milestones that you showed up for. I remember my dad coming to my football games when I was a kid. I remember my mama coming to my band concerts when I was a kid. See, that's the stuff that matters. That's the stuff that I hold dear to me and close to me, especially as a child, because I know that stuff was important to me. And to see my parents show up for that, it kind of resonated, and it switched in my head. It's like, hey, my parents are here for me mentally and emotionally, and that, you know, no matter how tough life gets, these guys are always going to be my number one biggest cheerleaders, and they're always going to be in my corner. And I know that I can get through thick and thin as long as I have my parents. That's just the fact. That's just the fact of the matter. I don't make this stuff up. You go ask any kid, or any kid who's an adult now, who grew up in a single parent home. You know, those people are broken. They might not want to admit it, but deep down they know they're broken, because they didn't have that emotional and mental support from their father, which is the main key factor in keeping the household together, to keeping that household glued together. Because the man is the head of the table. See, as a man, you got to take responsibility. Responsibility is everything. The moment you don't accept responsibility is the moment you escape manhood altogether. And that's what a lot of these men do. A lot of these men don't want to accept responsibility. A lot of these men don't want to have to deal with that. They just feel like, hey, let me just go ahead and throw a little bit of cash to this nigga, and then, you know what I'm saying, or my daughter, and then that's just gonna be that. So if you know that you can't take care of yourself alone, let alone with a woman or a family, then you shouldn't be putting yourself in that situation. You shouldn't be rushing into those situations, right? Hey, sex is everywhere. We know that sex is everywhere. Sex is easily accessible. You can easily get to that. But that's not important as a man, especially as a young man. You need to focus on the things that matter, right? You need to focus on your mental, really developing and maturing that mental. So, hey, when you do get in that position to, you know, have kids, or, you know, a family and a wife, then you'll be ready for them, right? And I'm all for you having as many kids as you want, right? But if you're not mature enough to know that you have to be there for each and every single one of your kids, otherwise you risk the potential of these kids being scarred or damaged beyond that's irreversible, right? Then you need to do a lot more. You need to do a lot more inner work on yourself, right? It's not just about financially being straight. You need to be emotionally straight and secure, and you need to be mentally straight and secure, right? Stoicism, right? It's not about just throwing away your emotions altogether, but simply seeing that your emotions are there, and knowing that they're simply just emotions, and to continue to push forward through that, right? You're the head of the table. Everything you do, say, it goes, right? Because that's what the kids and that's what the mother looks for, is that stronghold from the man to hold up the household, and to be there when the kid least needs it and when the kid most needs it. It's a universal thing, right? Sadly, this is the perspective that a lot of men have. They think that money is just that, you know what I'm saying? And you know, that would just fix all the problems, and it won't. It won't. A lot of men need to grow up, you know, and a lot of men are growing that still need to grow up mentally, and they need to mature in their mind, because they thinking they still can just hop around and do whatever they want, and then have kids, and then boom, whatever. I just give them some money right there. They should be fine. They're not gonna be fine, and you know damn well they're not gonna be fine. And if you're a kid who grew up in a single parent home, 9 times out of 10, you'll probably grow up doing the same thing your dad did. That same thing that you despise your dad doing, you're probably going to end up doing, because guess what? You never had your dad in your life to tell you, hey, you know, hey, look, son, you know, this is not right. Men, guys, fellas, you have to understand. A child needs you more than anything. A child needs his father more than anything. I don't care whether that's a girl or a boy. They need their father, right? Ain't nothing money can fix. They need your father, right? They need their father because that's what's going to help them mentally and emotionally. Another thing is another thing is having multiple kids with multiple different baby mamas. That's even more of a broken home and a more of a broken structure. Hey, like I said, I'm all for you having kids, but when you're having kids with multiple different wives, I mean, not multiple different wives, but multiple different baby mamas, that's when the problem arises. So if you know you've got all these different baby mamas, all these different kids, and this is your bloodline, yet you know you can't run around like a chicken with your head cut off, you know that's not gonna happen, bro. You're not gonna be there for every single one of your kids. And a lot of men also in the black community believe that having multiple different baby mamas is cool, like that's the trend. No, bro. Everything needs to be under one accord, under one house. You know what I'm saying? Have as many kids you want with that one, you know, special person. Those kids value them. Those kids value those memories created. Those kids value the fun times that they had with you. They value who was there for them, cooking them breakfast. They value who was tucking them in at night. See, all the little stuff, that all matters to them. What you might not see as a big deal matters to them. And when you're having several different baby mamas and having all these kids, you can never be there for them like that. So fellas, the lesson is today is, if you don't want to be monogamous, you know, that's okay, right? No one's gonna force you to be monogamous. That's just you. But don't bring kids into the situation. Don't bring kids into your not being mature. Don't bring kids into you not wanting to be a great father or a good father and being there for your kids simply because you want to sleep around and have fun. It's a bigger picture to life. And when you bring kids into the equation, now you gotta think about more than just, hey, me and the girl. You gotta think about your kids, right? Right? These kids, you fellas, you have to understand how important it is to be the head of the table and to have that foundation set within your family. Otherwise, it's all gonna crumble, and your kids will grow up not loving you and not respecting you for who you were, no matter how much money you give them, no matter how many times you popped up here and there. That's not gonna stick with them because they know overall you was really never there for them. You wasn't. You was just there when it was convenient for you, and you gave them that money because the government made you, right? And that's your child support. It's just what you had to do to, you know what I'm saying, stay out of sticky situations with the government, right? So fellas, grow up, man. You guys gotta grow up. You guys have to mature, right? You have to mature in your mental, right? And you gotta look at things in a universal perspective and not be so closed-minded, and instead have an open mind, and instead think, hey, okay, if I have, you know what I'm saying, if I sleep around all these baby mamas, I mean sleep around with all these women, and I can make them into baby mamas, and I'm having unprotected sex, then what is this gonna cause, right? How much baggage and emotional damage am I gonna cause to my kids simply off of my stupid choices and stupid actions as a young man, right? So that was my hot take on the video. Ladies and gents, appreciate each and every single one of y'all for tuning in and listening to what I have to say. I will be having more bangers like this one on the channel, so make sure y'all stay tuned for that. I love you guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.